Hello, we are on air. This is Emily.
My name is Denis.
My name is Max.
And I'm Josh.
And today we have a guest from Paint Your Heart Out. Would you like to introduce yourself real quick?
Hi, I'm Kathy Pantelis, and I'm from Paint Your Heart Out, Tampa, and also a professor here at Hillsborough College.
Awesome. And you've been a professor here for 35, coming on 36 years?
36 years, yeah, just in January, yeah.
That's awesome. That is awesome. How was your morning?
Wonderful, wonderful. I had kind of a long drive in, but the traffic was actually not too bad coming in from Clearwater.
Oh, that's great. That's surprising. The construction going on all over the place has been.
I left myself plenty of time so that I wouldn't be stressed, and I think that Murphy's Law, if you have enough time, then you get here really early.
Perfect. That's
Right.
great.
We're very glad to have you here, and today you're going to be talking to us about your mission and how you started at Paint Your Heart Out Tampa, which is a nonprofit that is doing incredible things here.
Absolutely. Paint Your Heart Out is a one-day annual volunteer event. It's dedicated to painting and beautifying homes in low-income areas and for low-income seniors, disabled individuals, and veterans throughout the city of Tampa. And it's all completely free of charge. That is the thing we really want to drive home, is that this doesn't cost the homeowner not even a penny at all. Our mission is to enrich lives and renew our community through annual volunteer efforts to paint and beautify our senior veteran and disabled neighbors' homes. Every year we do that, and we just brighten up Tampa Bay.
That's wonderful.
You know, speaking of not even a penny, where else does that phrase come up? Is nobody makes not even a penny. This is absolutely nonprofit. There are no employees. Is that right?
Absolutely. And, there are nonprofits out there that still many of the participants and people in the office do make money because to run it. But this particular organization, not a person gets a penny. The executive directors, the steering committee, the actual painters, no one makes a penny. It is 100% volunteers. And that is a little bit more rare.
That is.
It's wonderful, and I was a bit curious about how Paint Your Heart Out started. Like, where did it start?
Well, it actually, we founded it here in Tampa in 1988, but it was based off of an idea of a similar program in Pittsburgh that we had heard about. So they put together a 50-person committee to get started to see if we could do this here in Tampa. And by 1989, we were ready to paint. Since then, the organization has grown into a citywide movement. We've really taken over Tampa. Each year, we have 2,500 volunteers that donate more than 18,000 hours.
Wow.
Over 1,475 gallons of paint and 1,200 paintbrushes and rollers each year.
And I got a question. How does painting a home go beyond just improving the appearance?
Oh, it warms their heart. It brings life back to the people who live there. A lot of them want to beautify their houses. They don't want to be an embarrassment to their street or their neighborhood or their friends or family, but they just physically can't do it or financially can't do it. So when we come and we clean up and we remove trash and we cut bushes and paint, scrape and paint the house, it brightens up their whole lives. It's not just about painting a house. It's about giving them that pride back in where they live in their community. And then to see the neighbors taking that pride too. They're so grateful and they're so appreciative. It really is more than just a coat of paint.
Right.
That's awesome. And as a music station, I wanted to say 1998 and 1999, those were some great years. In 1998, Korn headlined the Family Values Tour with Ice Cube, Limp Bizkit, Rammstein. Big year. So.
Absolutely. The 80s are my era of music, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
And what is your role in Paint Your Heart Out?
So I originally started here at HC in 1990, and I started with just having a team. I solicited on my campus, the Dale Mabry campus, and got together a team of faculty, staff, and students, primarily students, with the support of our student government, and we went out and made a team. I did this for 30 consecutive years.
Wow.
And on my 20th year, they said, we want you to start moving up in the organization. We have the people who kind of run things behind the scenes, which is the steering committee. And we'd like for you to come bring your wisdom of 20 years, because you learn a lot by falling down a lot in 20 years, and kind of bring that to the committee. Tell us things that we could do differently, help us to support these up to 100 teams. So I did that, and it overlapped for a while. Now my role is to be a team liaison. Several years ago, I bumped up even more, and now I'm in charge of other teams. And by in charge, I mean I help get them organized. I get them trained. My phone has been ringing all morning. We got out there and we found this, or what color am I supposed to paint this? And guiding them, or how do I paint this area? Taking that wisdom and experience to them.
Absolutely. And what you just said a minute ago about these teams, you must have a lot of students who come out and do volunteer paint work on the big day.
Absolutely. For 30 years, it was primarily students and with a handful of staff and faculty, but it's an amazing project to do with students. I love my students. I have been teaching here forever, all of my life. But to do community and volunteerism with your students bond you in a different way.
Absolutely.
And I have many of those students who here 30 years I'm still in touch with. Because when you do something like that together and enrich your community, it's really great. I love when I still get Christmas cards from some of those students.
That's awesome. And college students are kind of the perfect group of people for that. They're young.
Absolutely.
They're adults, but they're young, and they're mostly able-bodied.
Right. They've got a lot of energy.
And they care about their communities. They're in college, so they're
Exactly.
like,
And if they didn't, they're starting to get that
Yeah.
idea. I have to tell you, sometimes people volunteer because, they want to put it on a resume, or they're doing it for community service, which, by the way, these hours for painting with Paint Your Heart Out do count for community service hours. But once it kind of gets in you, you just want to do more.
Yeah,
it really is a contagious thing. It's infectious to have that end of the day when you are completely exhausted and every bone in your body hurts because you've been up and down that ladder so many times. But it's such a wonderful feeling. And to see that end product, too, of what you've done.
Absolutely. So speaking of that, though, I do want to touch up. We're going to have a segment on this after some music, but I do want to brush up on it real quick. Saturday, the big day is coming up. The one day a year that you actually paint.
Yep, it's this Saturday. We spend the entire year getting ready for this Saturday.
Absolutely.
To paint those houses.
So today is Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
So that means that we have 5
days until
5
paint
days.
day.
But that's 5 days that enrollment is open. You could go right now.
Yep.
What does that look like? Do you have to sign up somewhere?
So, yes, you go to pyhot.com, which is our webpage, and click on Volunteering to Paint, and you enter in your name and phone number, and the volunteer coordinator will coordinate with you and see what team might need a few extra hands. This is our main thing that we need this week, our extra hands to paint. I know we're going to get more houses qualified. That'll be for next year. I know we're going to get more teams to join as large groups. That'll be for next year. We'll start that next week on Monday.
Absolutely.
But right now we need just that little extra energy, that little extra boost. If you yourself want to volunteer, you've got a couple of friends, go on the website, pyhot.com, click on Volunteer to Paint, and donate your time for this Saturday. We would love to coordinate you with an existing group.
Absolutely. Go out and paint. Most of the people listening to this are college students. I know that you're able-bodied. Go out and paint. pyhot.com.
Yeah.
You have 5 days.
Yes, and today you bring together more than 2,500 volunteers each year. How do you organize something of that scale?
Oh, it's a year-long plan. Mm-hmm. We first have companies and organizations who commit 6 months ago to having a team. So you have, when I was with, having my own team, I would say, okay, Hillsborough College wants a team. I'm going to be in charge of it. So we start at that level. And then each of those captains, that's what we call them, those leaders, will start soliciting to get those volunteers. Then on the steering committee end, we have a group that is tasked to go find these houses. A lot of them, as I've mentioned before, are turned in by either themselves or neighbors saying, I think my neighbor qualifies. Could you please come and take a look at it? And we have a team that will go out there and make sure that they do qualify, that they own their house, they live in Tampa, they're seniors or disabled or veterans and of the appropriate age, and qualify them and then start taking measurements so we can get the paint for it. Also, code enforcement for Tampa is huge.
Yeah.
They really alert us and say, hey, I've got a couple houses that we want you to go look at. And we have a really great team on our steering committee that's their job, is to go out there, qualify them, take measurements, and then we match up the teams with those houses. And that's what we've been doing for the last 6 months, getting that to be perfect.
Amazing. Really amazing.
Absolutely. So we are going to take a break here, and then we're going to be back on in probably a couple minutes to talk more about the big day, more about this Saturday, and fundraising for that. So.
All right.
Yes, and I'm Max, and we're back here with our guest, Kathy Pantelos, who's today is talking about Paint Your Heart Out Tampa. Kathy, how do you describe the transformation that you see, not just in homes, but in the people who live in them?
Overwhelming and heartwarming. It's not just a coat of paint. It is changing lives. It is renewing their spirits, not only for themselves, their families, their street, their neighborhoods.
Mm-hmm.
It just completely changes their lives. Everybody thinks it's about just a bucket of paint, and paint and slapping it on a house, but it's not. It's just renewing their spirit and their heart and their soul.
I guess it's also about feeling the community support.
Absolutely. When we contribute to our community in this manner, and everyone's a part of that, there is a unity that cannot be replaced. Mm-hmm. And making your city, your town better by doing that, it's ownership. It's ownership. I feel like I look and I go, I did that. We did that. It's global. It really does not limit itself to the walls that we paint.
And it's amazing. I actually saw, upon trying to put together this interview, I saw some of the videos of the work that you guys do. And it's really amazing. It's amazing. And like you said, the unity, seeing people being united, just for this cause is just something amazing.
It is. It's when you look at the before and after pictures, and if you haven't gone to pyhot.com, go check out the before and after pictures. You are amazed, aren't you?
Now imagine a completely different house.
Exactly. Just what we've done in trimming a few bushes, cleaning up some garbage, straightening out the yard, and of course scraping and painting the house, it just transforms it so many levels higher. Yeah. And when you see that homeowner, when they are able to, we ask the homeowner to come out afterwards. And they come out, it's kind of like those reality shows where they pull away. Yeah. But they come out, and usually you're helping them, and then they come to the end of their walkway and turn around. And to see the look on their faces, I cry every year. They're crying. They're just so grateful, and it just warms my heart. I cannot tell you how blessed I feel in participating and being a part of this. And everyone on the team feels that way. Everyone in the organization feels that way. And then multiply that by up to 100. Yeah. Because we're doing this all over town.
Right.
It's amazing.
And that's 100 a year, which is stacked up in all the time that you've done this to 3,500, I heard?
3,500 homes.
3,500 homes. And again, if you want to be a part of that, go paint, go sign up. You got 5 days.
Yeah. Absolutely. We're looking for all sorts of volunteers. Grab a couple of friends. And I also want to remind you that if you're over 18, yes, you can paint on the house. I want to remind you of what it entails. There's some light yard work. There's some painting. Not everybody has to get up on a ladder. So you don't have to be able to get up on the ladder. There's some general cleanup. But how about those who are not 18? We do have volunteer opportunities also for those who are under 18. Now, it's not on painting the houses, but it's at our distribution center. We have a lovely accommodation at the solid waste area for Tampa, and we're in their lot, and we are passing out supplies. We are sorting supplies, putting supplies in cars. Those can be for under 18-year-olds. So don't think if you're 17 or in high school hearing this, oh, I can't do it, I'm not 18. Yes, you can, but you'll be at the distribution center. You will be the backbone of our day on Saturday.
And that'll still be on pyhot.com.
Yep. So you hit the volunteer to paint, and that is the main volunteer button. Right. But when you put in your age, it will send you to the right person.
So you college kids that are listening right now, what you should have heard just now when she said that about the under 18-year-olds is you could go and say, oh, I got to take care of my little brother. Nope. He did help too. He can help too.
Absolutely.
So you go, you bring your friends, brothers, sisters, nephews,
Everyone-
nieces.
Everyone can.
Make it a date day.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey,
No-
bring your
nothing-
girlfriend. Bring your
that's it.
girlfriend.
Nothing brings a couple together or closer than doing volunteerism.
Sweating
And-
together.
And, actually, I say that in jest,
Yeah.
but that was one of the things when I first started dating my husband. And, there it is a couple months later, and what are you doing on Saturday? And I go, guess what you're doing too? And when he was right there alongside all of us who were doing it, I knew, okay, that's a keeper right there.
And-
Because there is something about doing such hard work and heartwarming work that brings people together. And I think those who
Absolutely.
are of the like mind and soul, it just brings you together, makes you
And-
closer.
Did it really impact your husband as you would witness, the finished product? It touched him as well, and
Absolutely. We both grew up in very volunteer-oriented families, but mostly around church community. His mother at his church and my parents at my church. So this was something out in the community that was a little different for him,
Yeah.
but equally he jumped into it with both feet. I was so blessed by that. You could tell a lot about a person who does that. And I even see my students and my friends who will come out kind of, I'm not sure how I'm going to like this. And by the end of the day, they're like, I can't feel my feet, but I want to come back next year to do it. And, I'm going to be hurting for the next couple days because they're all older like me. But we want to come back next year. How
Hey.
can I help?
And you know what? Painting is more fun than you'd think.
Yes. Yeah.
Painting is, especially you got the roller on the stick. If
Yeah.
you get one of those to the brushes, I mean, that's that. But the roller on the stick, that is fun. That's
Absolutely.
fun.
And I think it's also because we're all there together. We're laughing. We're doing good, especially, whether it's people all from the same work. I hear this all the time. A company where they only see people in the break room or maybe bump into them at the water cooler or whatever, but they didn't really know Timmy from accounting or
Yeah.
Susie from the
Right.
mailroom. And then you go out and you paint together and
You
you're
do
getting dirty and you're doing good. And it's just a different level of connecting interpersonally. Really, it is.
Absolutely.
And the organization runs entirely on community support without government funding. How important is that grassroots model to your success?
Oh, it's 100% how we keep running. We are very blessed to have Home Depot supporting us and our paint sponsors. We have Corona Brushes donating all of our brushes to our organization. And there's the bulk of it right there. The people who donate their time, they don't, like I said, they don't make a penny off of this. And having all of our corporate sponsors, and even there's a link on the website that says you can donate. So if you can't come out this Saturday, you can donate as well. You want to be a corporate sponsor? Of course, we love that. You want to be a personal sponsor who, would like to donate $10? We will take that too, because that all adds up. And again, that's the community coming together for the community.
Absolutely.
And that's what really means, it's the blood, sweat, and tears, it's the pocketbooks and the wallets, it's everything that is community.
Absolutely. So we've got one big last question before we wrap up this segment and go to break again. Is we know when the big day is Saturday, but when is it typically? Because we know that there's one day a year. How do you decide when that one day a year is?
So we base it off of when Easter and a lot of other events. We want to avoid Gasparilla weekend.
Right.
So we look at the calendar. We're already looking at next year. We don't want to do it on Easter weekend. We don't want to do it on tax day if the 15th is on a Saturday. We look and see what the dog walks and all that are, and we'll pick that very next Saturday. But
Right.
it's always in April. And we find a Saturday that is kind of free for the city itself. We don't want to compete
Right.
with other wonderful Tampa traditions like Gasparilla
Absolutely.
or religious events like Easter.
So what I'm basically hearing is it's usually a Saturday about in the middle of April.
Yep. Middle
Awesome.
to, and sometimes maybe a week later in April.
That's awesome. I'm going to cut to break.
And just like that, we're back here with Fergus's Shift. Today we're talking with Kathy Pentelis from Paint Your Heart Out Tampa. Kathy, I would like to ask you, yes, music, no.
Sorry about that. I thought I had that muted.
No problem. Kathy, many people may feel that they don't have the experience. What would you say to someone who's never painted before but wants to help this Saturday?
You don't need any experience. We will teach you everything on the job training. Just show up in clothes that can get dirty and an old pair of sneakers, and basically we're going to show you what to do. We have been training our team captains of how to trim or how to scrape and how to use the roller or the pole that you were talking about, Josh. But we can tell it doesn't require a lot of fancy skill for what we're doing, and on-the-job training comes with it. No problem. You'll be an experienced painter when you're done.
Wow,
Exactly.
that's great.
Maybe that's what you should be wondering. It's not what experience do I need for this, but what experience can this be for me?
Absolutely.
Right.
And also
You
remember
sounded more like JFK.
Yeah.
it really
It's not
Don't ask yourself.
what can this country do for me? What can I do for this country?
And also remember, not everyone needs to paint. We need to rake the leaves off
Right.
the yard. We can trim some bushes. We can, pull some limbs that might be in the backyard out to the front.
Right. And volunteers donate over 18,000 hours each year. What do you think that motivates people to come back year after year?
Seeing the finished product and seeing the look on the homeowners' faces. When I tell you there is no better feeling, there is no higher validation of what you have done. When at the end of the day, that homeowner comes out, their family is looking at it, their neighbors are going, oh my goodness, this has completely changed the look of this house and their lives. That's what keeps them coming back. People are asking me, when is it next year? Right away. When is that date for next year? They're ready to go.
What role do local businesses, schools, and organizations play in making this possible?
Oh, wow. So local businesses contribute teams. We have so many local businesses that will put together a group. One person will take the lead. That'll be their captain. And they will put signs up in the break room, volunteer to come paint with us. And they'll put together a team. And usually the businesses support that. And businesses also become corporate sponsors many times. And of course, we know that's what runs the train there, is that we need those corporate sponsors. We need all sorts of sponsors, big and little. As far as schools go, we are looking for volunteers. High school and college students provide us a lot of our volunteers. Also, word of mouth. You may be thinking, okay, I can't paint, but I've got a friend, I've got a neighbor, I've got an uncle you had mentioned. Okay, how can I get them on the list? Again, the website, pyhot, pyhot.com, and everything, all the links are there for you to even submit an address and say, here's a person who I think can benefit from this for next year. Or, hey, I've got a club at my school. We want to do this for next year. How can I get involved? Send that information in, and Monday morning we will be starting that.
Yeah.
We're taking individual volunteers now, but teams and corporate sponsors, businesses, clubs, we're going to be starting for next year on Monday.
All right.
Awesome.
Hey, you can just grab your friends, guys. You have no plans on Saturday. Now you do.
Clear your calendar for Saturday.
Yeah.
I mean, you can watch a movie at any time.
Get a
Cancel
group
your
of your
movie
buddies.
tickets. Cancel your, you're going to the park. Nope, you're going to paint your heart out.
Yeah.
That's pyhot.com. They're taking volunteers right now. You got 5 days. So.
I wanted to ask this, Kathy. I just had a question about like your perspective in the scheme of Paint Your Heart Out. But what does your nonprofit organization do that's different from others? I wanted to cover that, and my follow-up question would be, what makes you guys different from, a regular business?
That's a great question. Well, of course, we know regular business is out to make money.
Yeah.
Money, money, money. They're selling something, they're selling a service, a product. And also, the people at the business are making money. And every year they want to make more money.
Yeah.
And so, of course, that's how the world works. We all need a job. We have to pay our rent. We have to pay our bills. And we need those businesses. But a nonprofit is driven by a completely different end result. We do want to make money, but it's making money to give it away, to do good with it. And that's the difference. And of course, our employees, if you will, are volunteers, so they don't get paid anything, which allows us to take 100% profit and put it again back into our product and our service of painting these houses. And for our organization, I know many nonprofits do have some paid employees. They have office staff and whatnot, but ours doesn't. Not one person makes any money off of this. We are 100% volunteer driven. And I think that sets us a little bit apart from other, we need all the nonprofits. We absolutely do. But I think that does set us a little bit apart from others.
Absolutely. They call that a diamond in the rough.
There you go.
Yeah, very community driven, and I think it does provide a huge benefit and inspiration because, there's ways that I feel like, especially college students, put forth like a question of how can I help my community, or they think they can't, they have no ability to.
That
but
is
there's
a great
so many
point.
organizations out there, and you guys are doing very great things.
Thank you. Everybody thinks that, I don't have the time to do it.
Yeah.
I am a full-time college student. I've got a job or a family also outside. But remember, this particular event for you as a volunteer can be one day. One day and heartwarming. And again, we want that to inspire you. We want that to make you say, I see this other thing happening on another Saturday. I want to go do that. Or a walk or a park cleaning because they're picking up trash in the park or on the highway. I want you to get that bug, if you will, of volunteerism, because I really think that giving back to your community not only helps the community, but it helps you as well. I think it really develops, your spirit and your heart. It really fills it with good stuff.
Have you ever had one of the house owners ask for like a design on one of the walls, like a mural?
No, don't give them any ideas. I cannot draw a straight line. No, we do tend to do solid colors. They do get to pick the colors for their trim. Usually the houses are painted white. And then they have a choice of, I think, 6 or 7 trim colors that they can use. But that's usually as far as it goes. But who knows? Maybe, are you artsy? Do you want to join and we'll maybe do a mural on one?
He'll do some graffiti.
I mean, that'd be fun. That would be fun.
That would be. That's something maybe we can do as kind of a branch out. We'll get a bunch of artists to join us. And the week after we paint the house white, they come and do a portrait or something.
Yeah.
I'm going to put that down for our wrap-up meeting that we're going to have at the end of the month. Murals.
Paint your heart
go.
out and then spray your heart out.
Well, but
Spray your heart out.
Yeah,
I like it.
I love it. Well, I've never been one to really get into murals that much, but as you know, on the Dale Mabry campus, we started doing some over the last decade, and I can't pass those walls without seeing something different every time. They are just so beautiful. And they just really give a lot of character to that building or that area. So that's something to think about. I think we've got our next big idea for next year.
You got our next leader.
And you got it here at Frequency
There
Shift.
you go.
Absolutely. Yeah, you didn't know we were bringing you on to give you advice.
There you go. There you go. We take it. We take
This
it.
is a consultation.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. But then I'm going to expect all of you out there painting and
Of
reporting
course.
on it next year.
We got some artists right here. These
There
two.
you go.
Can do anything.
Miss Kathy, I had a question. So for those who don't live in the Tampa Bay area, is there a paint your heart out for example, for Orlando, for any other cities?
There are a lot of them. Thank goodness that it is contagious. This idea is very contagious. I know many years ago they started one in Clearwater. They started one in Safety Harbor. And the titles are the same. It's Paint Your Heart Out, Safety Harbor. Paint Your Heart Out, Clearwater. Our hope is that this will be super infectious and many, many cities all around will start doing it. And they don't have to start with 100 houses. We had to work up to that. I think the first year that Clearwater did it, they started with 20 and, organized and got the funding and got the donations for that. We've come a long way. We raise a lot of money. We have a big fundraiser every February that's called Aim High. It's a clay shooting tournament, so to speak, like a golf tournament. It's all for fun, but there are winners. And it's a wonderful day. Everything is donated that we give away. And we have a raffle, and we make a lot of our funds within our organization from that clay shooting event. And that's another way to help, too, is to think about next February putting together a foursome for clay shooting. Again, no experience necessary. It's for fun.
Awesome. And how can people get involved? You still need some volunteers for this Saturday.
This Saturday, we need hands to paint. They can go to piehot.com and go ahead and click on volunteer to paint. And actually, that's all the volunteers should click that button. Even if you aren't going to paint but want to be at the distribution center sorting supplies and loading supplies in cars. And we really need that manpower. We're at the part of the year where it is the roll up your sleeve and get the job done. So we need those physical bodies out there. We'll take no group too small. You want to come out as an individual, you want to bring just one friend, a group of friends.
Yeah.
Please sign up. We'd love to have you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure. And something that comes to mind is I usually get very hungry. Do you guys provide any type of meal, water, or something to the volunteers?
Yes. The volunteers at the distribution center have plenty of food and water.
Okay.
And then on
Sign me up.
On the house teams, usually the captain and the company will take care of, because you'd be joining an existing team. They usually have some provisions for lunch.
That's good.
It varies by team.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm a big fan of food.
Yeah.
Who is it?
I used to say in high school, lunch was my favorite period.
There you go.
I guess yours was probably math.
Yeah.
Maybe lunch was a runner-up.
There you go. Absolutely. I don't turn any food away for sure. That was when we had the HC team for all those years too. That was one of the funnest times. We would always take a break at lunchtime. And my office mate, when in the early days, would bring his barbecue grill, and we'd make hamburgers and hot dogs.
Wow.
And we had a wonderful hour break. And then when it was all done, we're like, okay, get up, back onto painting again. But it was a great little break. And again, having faculty and staff and students all together. One time we had one of the deans was out there painting. And there was my student kind of painting next to her and goes, "Oh, are you a student at HCC?" It was HCC at the time. And she goes, "No, I work there." And meanwhile, she's like the dean of the camp. And I went, "Oh my goodness." And she was so sweet,
Oh my
she
gosh.
was having everybody call. And then they're like, "Wait a minute. Was the dean of associate sciences at the Dale Mabry campus?" And I'm like, "Yes, I know
Oh my
that."
gosh, I have about the opposite story to tell. It just reminds me exactly of that. So I was in elementary school. My dad's trying to navigate the car line to pick me up, and he goes the wrong way in it. And this woman comes out there waving her hands, pointing, like directing the airplane style. And he goes, and he's particularly not having a good day. He goes, "Who are you, the parking lot police?" She goes, "No, I'm the principal."
Oh,
But it's just like kind of same chapter, the principal could be anyone.
Yeah, you better make sure you don't get in trouble after that. Oh, I know your father.
Yeah.
He went the wrong way in the car line.
He's a troublemaker.
That's it.
Oof, we're having a good time here at Frequency Shift. I think we're going to go to another break, and then we'll be back. We're going to wrap it up with Kathy Pantelos from Paint Your Heart Out Tampa.
Absolutely.
All right. Welcome back to Frequency Shift. I'm your host, Dennis. Here with Kathy Bantelas from Paint Your Heart Out. Kathy, did you have any closing thoughts for our show?
Thank you. Yes. I would like to mention something that one of the founding fathers of Paint Your Heart Out, and he's currently our executive director, Jerry Hansen, has a quote that I absolutely love, and I'd like to read that. We paint with purpose, passion, and heart. By uniting volunteers to refresh homes for those in need, we create a more beautiful, connected, and compassionate Tampa. And I think that statement really wraps it up. We are bringing this community together. We are warming the hearts of not only the homeowners but also ourselves. And by doing this together, by working together to paint, by working with the homeowners, we are really making Tampa stronger, better, and of course, more beautiful. And I love that. So my last plea for volunteers for this Saturday, please go on the website, pyhot.com. It stands for paintyourheartouttampa.com, and hit the volunteer button. Put your name into the mix, and our volunteer coordinator will be in touch. You'll give you the information to join an existing team, so you don't need to know anything except the address that they will give you and send you there, or the distribution center, wherever you're going to be most helpful, and be ready to work.
Absolutely.
And wear comfy clothes that can get dirty on Saturday.
Yeah.
And even if you're not 100% sure you can go, you can still volunteer, even if you might not show up, just so that you're able to. You'll have that address. You know, Saturday, I mean, you be free. Be free. There's no such thing as too many people to paint.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Even if you have just a half a day. If you're thinking, I've got to go to work by 2, come
There
on
you
out
go.
at 8 in the morning, put in a couple of hours, and then you still can get home and showered into work on time.
But yeah, that's a great thing. Is what does that day look like? When do you guys start?
Well, the team captains will be out there at 7 in the morning, but usually
Awesome.
we start painting around 8. And we say 8 to 5, but most of them will finish somewhat earlier
Okay.
in the day. But we say it's a full day, 8 to 5.
Right.
So even if you're saying, hey, I have to work till noon, can I come out in the afternoon? Yes.
Yeah.
And actually, that's when we really can use some help, because we're starting to get tired.
Yeah.
Some people
Yeah.
have left their teams to go to work or pick up kids or whatever. So we need that kind of second shift coming in to bring it home.
The reinforcement wave.
That's it.
And those of you who want to see if you are eligible to have your home painted, they are taking applications for next year, correct?
Absolutely.
Same website.
Same website, but you can actually submit a house and nominate a house to be painted. It could be a neighbor. It could be your own. You can self-nominate. And then we will, starting on Monday, start the process for next year and have our team go out there to evaluate it. Remember, we are looking for people who live in Tampa, who own their home, usually elderly, sometimes handicapped, veteran homeowners in the city of Tampa.
And by the way, if you say you live in Tampa and you're thinking, oh, that sucks, I got an uncle out in Safety Harbor. Well, they have a division out in Safety Harbor.
Maybe reach out to them. I'm sure they have a website just like all the other nonprofits do. But keep that in mind.
Yep. So PYHOT is for our Tampa division. But you can look it up. I'm sure you can look up how many divisions Paint Your Heart Out has.
Yep.
And there might be one right there in the city that your uncle, aunt, grandpa lives in.
Yeah, just look up Paint Your Heart Out and then just put in your location
And the city,
website.
right.
Absolutely.
But thank you.
You got
guys
about
so
all
much.
year to do it.
Yeah.
Yes. It's been a great honor having you here, Kathy. Thank you for helping out the community and for everything that you've been doing all these years.
Thank you so much for
Absolutely.
having me here and
That-
sharing the information.
Yeah,
Right.
thank you for
Appreciate
giving
you
us this
taking your
interview.
time
This
out,
has been
yeah.
great.
Yes, yes. And next week, we'll be back with more Frequency Shift.
Yep. Next Tuesday, same time.
Yes,
10
it's
to
been a
11.
great honor sharing with all of you today.
Awesome.
Have a good one.